Hello everyone. Sorry I was a little late on starting this today. We just added Facebook multi-streaming capabilities with our new program here. And it forces us to choose a game, and I'm just like, I couldn't find a game. So I just picked the closest one to streaming. So you might be seeing saying that Facebook is now, not Facebook, DSpace is now playing Streamlab avatars. And I'm like, God, it's the closest thing to mine. But anyways, welcome to today's after school program. If you're watching, I can see chat on both Facebook and Twitch. So if you want to like interact with me a little bit more, you can go on Twitch and with DSpace Omaha on Twitch and chat with us there. But you can also chat on the Facebook side too, and I will be able to see it, but I won't be able to like reply back on text, but I can see the text. Last week was canceled, but we're continuing on part 3 of 4 of making a measuring cup in Tinkercad. Last time we kind of like made some brainstorm some ideas, and like we made like different ideas of like different things where we can make an all-in-one measuring cup for making cookies instead of using different kinds of measuring cups. So there's that. So I'm gonna like try to like pick one of these. I was really just gonna pick up this one, bottom one here, where it's like this cup and you have like this little handle that you slide it up and down in the cup and it latches on. But that's a little bit more complicated. I mean, I could do it, but it would take a lot longer than we have. Otherwise, I'm thinking I'm gonna go with this idea where it's like a measuring cup cube where like I'm gonna have all the wet ingredients on one side, dry ingredients for the other, so I can dump the whole thing into a bowl for mixing. If you haven't, if you're like coming in the middle of this and you're like, what is this? I need to mention that there's video recordings of this on our after school website. I'll open up that now so you guys know where I'm coming from here. So you can find the videos, but I'm just going to DSpace.org right now. You can't really see my search at the top, but if I go through here, at the top there's After School Club. I'm kind of pointing it. It's cut off a little bit on our overlay. But if I click on that, I get After School Club, and I scroll down, today's Design It. Here is an example of what we're doing. And if you scroll down to Activities Archives, you can pick the different days and watch them. The first week I showed everyone how to use Tinkercad, and then the week after that, we brainstormed with some other people online to like create some like cool measuring cups there, and I used like this mural wall thing to make a bunch of sticky notes and draw on there. And we have like imaginary client. Our client needs an all-in-one cup, so they don't have to like dig through a bunch of different cups, and they just have one thing that can wash really quickly. So we're coming up with an idea of that. So we've brainstormed an idea, but we need to come up with a, like a blueprint for it. And this here, I'm going with this all-in-one cube here, where it's got different sides, little different holes for different measurements. And I realized last time I was doing this, we kind of forgot to, pull up the ingredients, because we need the ingredients to get the exact size here for everything. Because cookies, like, there's this whole chart on cookies where you can, like, mess up, and it's like has all the like different things. So like, okay, if it looks this way, you got too much butter. If you got this way, you got too much, like too many eggs or too little eggs, or you didn't stir right. So gotta make sure my measurements are all right. So if you go to the Tinkercad website, like it lets you sign in. I have a Google account, so I'm just gonna sign in with that. Through here, it has like a educational part where you can go on the right left side over here, maybe join a class or do some lessons. And I'm using the make your own measuring cup lesson. And first thing here, it's like saying make a prototype. I'm gonna make a prototype digitally. It's really good to make them physically, like grabbing a bunch of materials, put together, see how your like works on it. That part I usually say yes, do this first, but for the sake of streaming, I'm just going to go to blueprinting it right away. But I highly recommend making a physical prototype. I'm saying like I'm going to do this, but what I'm doing is wrong. Make a prototype and then go to blueprint design. So I have this. You can grab glue and stuff, and there's a part where we're going to try measuring. It's got like a little PDF. I open it, and it gives me the exact like measurements, cubic, like to millimeters to like 3D volumes to like cubic inches and centimeters is what this is. So I'm going to be using this to measure out my different sides. But first, I kind of want to be much more specific. This is Tinkercad in here. This is actually kind of an example of what we're making as soon as it loads. Any day now. While that loads, I'm just going to open up Illustrator. You don't have to have Illustrator, but I'm going to be using Illustrator to precisely design my different sides. Yeah, there it is. It's kind of like has all the different sides in here that do different things. I'm going to tinker this so you can see a better view of it. Again, if you're not joining us, you can, log in on the Twitch side of this and, chat with us. If you have questions, you can ask them there. You can also ask them on the Facebook side. I can see the stream chat on the Facebook side. If you have any questions there, I'm actually going to confirm that. But this right here is what we're making. I'm just going to open up DoSpace real quick here. Okay, yeah. I can see the chat right in there. If you want to message me on there. Again, sorry about the category. Okay, so there's like all these different things. We kind of might make it one. So I have this recipe here of what we need. On the left side here, it's ingredients. I'm just using the traditional Nestle Toll House cookies recipe here. So I'm going to make my different measurements from over here, and I'm going to make my cube. I'm just going to grab, again, I'm using Illustrator. You guys can use pencils. Again, you can grab boxes and cut them out. Try to get the exact size you want it. Do that. And I'm just going to work in here. So based off my website here, ingredients are here, the max size out of all of this is 2 cups and 1/4. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to make like a rectangular area that it says 1 cup, but there's like little measurements off of that of different sizes. And then on the side with a bunch of little circles on it for all those teaspoons part. I don't really need anything for eggs because we just put that right in the bowl. So I won't need eggs. I'm not adding nuts in here. I don't think I will need a part for the chocolate morsels because usually those packages are always sized to what you need it. So right here it says 12 ounces and right here it says 2 cups 12-ounce package. So I can skip the eggs, nuts, and the chocolate morsels. Okay, so I'm just going to put the Illustrator here. So 2 cups, 2 cups, let me go over to my measurements of here, is, well, 1 cup is 14.4 inches cubed here. So be double that. 1 double that by 1.5. So I'm gonna look up a website, maybe hopefully there's a website where I can take cups to cubic measurement. If I can spell right. Luckily you guys can't see what I have on top. There we go. There's a converter. So it's gonna be 2 cups and I wonder if it'll let me do 1/4. Right? 2 cups and 1/4, yeah. So 2 cups and 1/4. Oh, nope. So it's 2 cups, be about 28.87 cubic inches. I'm gonna actually maybe change this to centimeters like we have on our little diagram over here because that's a little bit more accurate than these. So I need to take that and add 3.6. I like all these tabs open here. I'm going to close these other ones. So 28.75. I'm going to bring up my calculator. I wonder if it'll let me change this. In Tinkercad, we're working in millimeters. So we want to work in millimeters here. That's a lot. Okay. I'm going to work in inches. So it's 14.4 times 2. You get 28.8 plus 1/4, which is 3.6. So it's 32.4 for our largest side. I'm going to write that in here. 32.4 for the largest. I'm just going to grab a little paintbrush here. Look at that thing. I got to remember that. 32.4 for flower. There you go. And then I should write next part. The next largest this is a part where I'm just like accessing a different part of the brain. Because the previous weeks I was like on my right side of the brain, the creative side of the brain, trying to like add or like not add, but like design all these things, make it cool. And now my left side of the brain, so I'm just like, okay, gotta do this and this and this. Okay, so the second I can skip that, skip the eggs. Next will be the 3/4 cup, and it's actually 2 of them. And these are dry ingredients. So, like my client, my imaginary client that we made earlier, might want to like have a side, where they can dump it together at the same time, but that we can't get that feel. Like we could try really hard to get it feasible with 1 cup. But basically, one side is going to take the majority of this flour right here. We won't be able to dump that out at the same time. So maybe they'll be okay with dumping these out separately. So I can maybe get away with only creating 1 slot instead of 2 slots, since these two are like exactly the same. And we do have an issue if they want to double the recipe. But that's not what our imaginary client wants. Because I'm just going to say that myself. They don't want that. So we need 3/4 cup. 3/4 cup. Oh, we already got it. 10.8. And these are cubed. I need to remember that. Cube. That was, you go back over here. 3/4 cup was 10.8. For sugar. And what was the other one? Sugar and brown sugar. I'm not using a tablet, so I'm like using a mouse to write this. The next, I guess, size. Looks like the rest is wet ingredient. No, there's dry ingredients. Salt and baking soda are dry ingredients. If you've ever made cookies before, usually you combine all your wet ingredients together and all your dry ingredients in 2 different bowls, and then you dump everything in the wet ingredients slowly into all the dry ingredients. So that's why I'm thinking about how to separate these. So luckily these are both dry. I could have 2 slots for these, or 1. It's just 1 teaspoon for both of those. 1 teaspoon is 0.3. I might want to do centimeters in here because that's more accurate, but I want to keep my measurements the same. So 0.3. So 0.3 for salt and baking soda. Okay, and you got 3/4. Oh, and also for the vanilla extract. I might make these all separate. Okay, can't skip these because we don't need to, measure that out. We're just dumping the whole thing. Yeah, that's about it. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. There's also the case where maybe they're grabbing a different brand here, but using this recipe, and maybe it's like a bigger bag. Maybe I should grab that. Okay. So 28.8. So 28.8 for chocolate. There we go. Now I'm gonna start designing this. Okay, I got all that stuff. I'm kind of writing off the board here. This is Illustrator. I don't have to worry about being on the board all the time. But I'm gonna get this going. So this is cubed. I need to, divide this up into different sides. So depending on how I want it, like how I just want to measure with the volume and stuff. But if I go back to my little worksheet here, there it is. It's here, there's little measurements in here. And you can, like where you're using the chart above, the find measurements, conversions for each cavity in our design. This will help you create your 3D design in Tinkercad, and we have more corridor measurements there. If you go from here, we want to calculate dimensions of different shapes to achieve different specific volumes. There's like a little teacher's note in here. So again, depending on the math skills, baking units, converting to that, consider showing in class. Calculate it out. Okay, so I'm gonna go to this part. It comes to ideating, and this part is for creating a 3D models based on what we have. But we have this here, and it's got like all these different sizes for you to use. Of what you need. These are actually already measured out to the volumes that they want, but I'm going to figure out a way to get this in, or a way to just get to creating our own cavities. Okay, here it is. I can adjust it to inches. Okay. Here's the part where I'm like, okay, how do I do this again? So the 3D volume, we can always have the same along this, like we can have all these different, basically, okay, with cubic measurements, if you don't know anything about it, it's the total volume of 3D objects. But we can have measured in different sizes. Like I could just divide this 3 equally and have like a 3 by 3 by 3 type of cube or something for each of these. Or I can try to turn it to a pyramid or a cylinder, just depending how I want it. I'm going to turn this part into like a cylinder. That will make wasted space. I'm going to go with the cube. I'm kind of going back and forth thinking there. But along this I have the 3 sides, length, width, height equal 32.4 for this. We're golden. So we have to map things out. So for the max size here, I am going to make this whole thing, see, it's 32.4 inches. That's kind of big, but if I divide that by 3, each side only needs to be 10.8 inches at max. So I can make this thing total maybe 12 by 12, but there's also all these different sides here. So I'm actually just gonna add all of these together. There's still like some there's always like a hard part of designing documents really heavily math based. You're just like, okay, I need to add all of these together. There's 2 of those, plus 0.3, plus 0.3, plus 0.3. I could have just put 0.9, plus 28.8, and divide that by 3. So the whole volume of our main piece needs to be 27.9 inches. That's kind of big. So it might be better just to have single slots for some of these to save on space, because they're just reusing some of the different spots, like slots on here. I could also just, have a half cup, like a half thing or a third thing. So I don't have to make it specifically for this. So I'm going to go through, instead of this, again, like we got to think our design out. All of this. I'm still going to have a very specific one for the flower because that's what the client wants. So I need a slot for 32.4. I'm going to need a slot for 20. I'm going to scratch that, 28.8 inches, and then I will need a slot for 1 cup. 1 cup is 14.4. Okay, and then I'm gonna do slot for all the rest of these. So got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 more slots. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Sorry, 6, 7, 8. So it's 8 slots altogether. Okay. And of course all of this add together. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna add. Let's see, do that again. 32.4 plus 28.8 plus 14.4, 75. Again, I'm trying to figure out the total volume that I need this for being to be 3D printed. There we go. And plus 0.3 plus 0.9 plus 3.6 plus 7.2 plus 10.8. Oh, that's a big piece. I'm also thinking like, I don't want this not to be true. 32 inches on each side. So I'm gonna subtract. Let's do 98.4. I'm going to subtract. Next Illustrator. I'm going to subtract out the cup over here, 20.8. Let's do cups. Oops. There we go. 23 inches on each side. Okay, there we go. Now I can take this out. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna round up to 23.5, so 23.5 inch by 23.5 inch. Go. So I'm making it 2D, so right now it's just this one side. But that's how I have it there. And I'm gonna make, so there's 6 sides to a cube. I'm gonna put this on that side. I'm gonna do like that weird flattened cube diagram here. Oops. There we go. And of course I'll have to name these all different sides here. I'm gonna have to zoom out so you guys kind of can see this a little bit better. I'm gonna make the outline a lot thicker. But this is just a flattened cube. That show you like a diagram of a flattened cube. Because that's what's basically like taking the whole thing out before you wrap it together. Cube. Images. Yep, there it is. So you got like a flattened cube here for different sides. And this would like hook up how it like look up when you wrap it back together. See, there it is, so that can wrap up to this. Okay. There we go. Okay, now I have to think about which side is what. I'm gonna go over here and look at my chart. Okay, so I need to think about what side is what. Okay, so I'm just gonna draw on there. I'm gonna say this is my front. That's my top. Left, right, back. No, that's actually bottom. Bottom. This is back. Here we go. Okay. So top, bottom here, I'm just going to leave blank so we can have some space for some things. I'm just going to have it decorated here. There you go. So this is just going to be like decorated. And top is where I'm going to put the most of my volume here. I'm just going to do cube. I measured out of different marks. So the max of it, I might as well just make it, nah, I'm not going to make it 3 cups. So it needs to be 32.4. Okay, I need to divide that by 3, so 32.4 divided by 3. There we go, 10.8. So 10.8 inches by 10.8. Oops, that didn't work out. So 10.8 by 10.8. There we go. Oh, sorry, in Illustrator, it defaults, right now its default is to points. I wanted inches. Inch. So I have to like tap the measurement for it to convert it for me. There we go. So I have this, but this doesn't make use of my space. And of course, if it's 10 inches down, it'll come down to about, right about here on the front. So it does leave me room for these that have indents in here. But I feel like I'm not getting the most of my space with this in here. So I could, you know, change the measurements where it's like maybe it's thinner one side, but just longer like this. And maybe that way I can get like different measurements here. It just has to total 32.4 cubic inches here. So let's say, let's do it this way. So 32.4. Let's take out, maybe make one side like 8 inches. There we go. And then divide by 2. Oops. 48.8. So that's way longer than our box, so we can't do that. Let's just do, let's try 9. So 32.4 minus 9 divided by 2, 11.7. Okay, so I'm going to make a new thing here. So I'm going to make the height 11.7. And I said 9 for the width. Hopefully. Again, I do it in points. Inches. There we go. Inches. There we go. So we got a new measurement here, and that's for our flower. I'm just going to mark it flower. And I kind of need to leave some space for other indents. Oops. Come in. I don't want to make that wider by accident. Okay, this is the flower. So I have all the space down here that's not going to be used. Kind of don't want that. And I just realized that this side, it's not going to look like that. For the front, that's where it comes down here. I need to make another cube to represent what it'll look like on the top. And that would be 11.7 by 11.7 inches by 11.7. Yep. There you go. So that's what it'll look like on the top. You kind of have to think 3D wise for how it turns for each side. So I have to think about all those things. Bring this down here, make sure. Yep. Different sides are that. So I'm just going to pretend this is the top. So as this fold, I'm going to have this closer to this edge here. And I'm bringing this to this edge right here. Hold on, that's not right. Yeah, that's not the way I want it. I'm going to flip this. There you go. So that's how it translates. Because I had it sideways, I'm like, wait, that's not matching to what I have. There we go. And again, that's kind of wasted space. So, undo, take this, delete. I'm gonna take this. That's kind of what it'll look like anyways. From these sides, it'll look like a square. Okay. Now right there, here, yeah. So when you're making your own measuring cups to 3D print a do space, if you wish, you kind of have to like think of everything on different sides. You don't have to do a complex measuring cup like I am doing here. You can just do like a tiered one that would be very easy to design. What I mean by that is basically you have different layers for the different rectangles like this at different sizes. You just stack them together and you're good to go. Of course, you have to figure out, pick out your recipe and measure everything based off that recipe. Okay, so this here, oops, I need to take this here so I know that's flour. That's the flour slot. And again, I got some sides here. I'm just gonna move these two in a little bit more because I need to remember there's gonna be indents on the sides here. It'll come down a bit. So I'm gonna make some room here. There we go. Okay, now I got that. I'm gonna do, so I got a little bit more room here. So what I'm gonna do is, I could do the 1 cup. It'll be weird. But this is a weird measuring cup. I'm gonna do 1 cup. I feel like it's more efficient to have like a 2 cup and then 1 cup here. Yeah, I'll do that. I got space around this. So I'm gonna do the 2 cups. So that is 28.8. I'm gonna make one side 9 inches. There you go. Divide that by 2, 9.9. So I'm making the width 9 inches. And the height, oh, actually I don't have to do 9 inches. I'm gonna do 20.8. Let's do 7. Take that, divide by 2, 10.9. So 7, there we go. 10.9. Oops, that's a divide. Oh, okay, there it is. Okay, so I put that right here. Again, I need to make some room, so I'm gonna put this really close. I'm gonna center these. Oh, I don't want to select that. That. There we go. Boop. I'm just doing Illustrator things here. If you want to learn Illustrator, you can like always check out an Illustrate class tonight at 6:30. So there we go, that's centered. And bring that to a 5. Okay, so this part is just 1 cup. I'm gonna mark that down for me. So that's 1 cup. There you go. And take that, move that down here. So I kind of know what's going on here. These are not going to be what's really on the front right here. If I look over here, that's how much space I'll have on that side for the front. I'm going to bring this up to here to give some space for other things. Okay, and okay, got the 1 cup, got the flour. I kind of do have room here for the 2 cup. So I'm going to try to see if I can get the 2 cup in there too. So that's 28.8. Oh no, did I do this? Yeah, I did the 20.8. That's 2 cups. That's not the 1 cup, that's the 2 cup. Change that to 2, right there, that's the 2 cup. Now we're gonna do the 1 cup. I'm gonna check my measurements over here, just in case I'm not mixing up, or I'll have to start over. Yeah, 4.2, 14, yep, okay. Now I'm gonna add the 1 cup in there. you know, just in case it needs to be used for anything else. There's 1 cup of something, wasn't there? No, yes, the butter. 1 cup butter softened. So we have to have a 1 cup. That is required. I was thinking like adding little lines on there, like other things to do stuff, but now I'm gonna do the 1 cup. Okay, so maybe I can just, you know, do 14.4 divided by 3. 4.8, yeah, I can put that in there, 4.8. I get 4.8 inches by 4.8 inches. There we go. I'm just kind of looking at it and I'm like, I'm still, you know, could fit a few more things in here. Yeah, I can definitely fit some more stuff in here. Another thing I'm thinking about is how this is huge. Like, this is going to take forever to print. It's going to be like this big, this big. So I kind of want to like start over here and just make the whole thing smaller. So, and of course I won't have enough time to finish that, but if you kind of like think about your designs again and you're like, maybe I want to do this, and you always go back to that. Okay, so again, my biggest size is 32.4. Beep. Clear that. No. Clear. So I need to take 14.4 times 3 that's 3 cups there. So I'm gonna make this total 3 cups all around. Maybe because how about 4 cups times 4, okay, divided by 3. It gets me small. I'll do the 3 cups. So I'm doing a design limitation here. You guys can make yours as big as you want. It's just I don't want to make a really huge thing to 3D print. I just want to keep it small here. That'd be 14.4 per side. I'm just thinking like, wait a minute. Okay, so I'm gonna make it about, I don't know, 15 inches. I'm gonna think about, I want to keep it, I don't have to make it a cube too. I could make it longer one side too. So sometimes even though you kind of brainstorm an idea, you're like, wait a minute, you change this. That's part of like what I said from like the second week of iteration design, where you're like thinking, wait a minute, no, I could do this. Wait a minute, I could do that. Wait a minute, I could do this instead. So maybe I want to keep it more flat than tall. So I could just 3D print it wider instead of longer, but I want to kind of use the most of my space at the same time. But it'll be easier to handle. But kind of like, I need to make it how like our part of our prompt was to make it, you know, be able to hold it with one hand. So I'm gonna see if I can get this in 12 inches per side. And that cubic is 36 inches, and yeah, that'll fit the biggest size. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna make this 12 by 12. Okay, there we go. So that makes me feel a little bit better. I'm just kind of like making a different size here. But hopefully you guys have the idea of what I'm trying to do and able to like try out, because this is definitely like, this is the kind of thing that would take longer than the 30 minutes we have. So I'm going to continue working on this. I'm going to show you guys my finished product next week. Of me doing this, working through. But yeah, thank you very much for everyone watching. The younger group, where we're making like a cool robot, starts at 5 with Design Juniors. And I also want to mention, if you look right now at the bottom with like the little banner, it's kind of sliding. It says, join us for our 5th anniversary live stream on November 6th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So we have like an all day anniversary stream where we're going to give out prizes. So basically, you need to tune in, watch for those prizes where we pop up buzzword on the screen. And I know we're giving out $25 gift cards for Amazon. The top like prize is like headphones, and basically like noise canceling headphones. So basically, you need to find those words and then email those code like buzzwords to us, and you enter your chance to win like the prizes there. And yeah, that would be on too. So you don't have to like you can still like practice social distancing by watching our stream without having to come in. We will be serving cookies, but again, you don't have to come in the building. You just check out our stream and look for those words and you email those words to us and you enter a chance to win a prize. But otherwise, that is it for today for the older group here for Design It. I'll see you guys next week where I actually am 3D modeling this in Tinkercad. And if you have any younger siblings, you can, stay tuned for 5 p.m. today where we'll continue making our robots in Tinkercad, well, for Tinkercad. Otherwise, have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.